Hey everybody. So today someone asked a question in one of my groups that I thought, that would be a good thing to address for everybody. How to remove gems from the nails without damaging the nail underneath if you want to keep the acrylic or gel or whatever. So I thought we'd go over that real quick because there's a few different ways you can do that. I'm going to be using cuticle nippers, buffing block, sanding band. I'm using my sanding band instead of a hand file, just because, for the interest of time, but you can use a hand file, and I'll show you where you can do that at, like where that comes into play. I suggest cuticle nippers just because it's the easiest and quickest. You can also use needle nose pliers, but they tend to be a little harder to grab the gems. These are pretty sharp, so they just cut right through, but you can get these at the dollar store, the little like blue and pink handled ones. They sell them at Dollar Tree. They're pretty cheap, so you can grab them just for this. Like, it's not a waste of money if you only ever use them to remove gems because they get right underneath there. So to use these, first you want to make sure that you have a good handle on both sides of the gem, like the blade is on either side, and then you want to try to scoop it underneath, like you want to use it to kind of grab underneath. You don't want to pinch it and hold it, you want to go underneath the gem, if that makes sense. And that'll give you the cleanest cut. So make sure you point it away from your face before you do this because it is going to pop. Just like that. That landed, I think. Oh no, that was pretty far. And then you just want to do that for all of them. And if you can avoid popping them, try to do that. And if you get the blade underneath right, you usually can. Take some practice, but... Alright, so now what you're going to be left with is your top coat and your gem glue on here. So the first way is with your sanding band. What you're going to do is just file off the entire top layer, all of the top coat, all of the gem glue, and then we are going to buff it. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. You want to take off the whole top layer. I am going to show you how to take the gems off with just your file as well, as long as they're not glass. Make sure that you don't leave any of the top coat behind because that's going to give you a really bumpy surface. And if you can get away with leaving the polish, do so, but I have trouble with it, so. Make sure there's no residue from the bottom of those gems on there, because they tend to leave the little flat back part, the little, let me show you. They tend to leave this part, the little foil backing. Oh, jeez. They tend to leave that part behind on the nail, that little metal part. That usually doesn't come off with it, so just make sure you file all of that completely off. Okay. Now once you have that whole top layer off, you're just going to use the fine side of your buffing block and buff everything down so you get a nice smooth surface again. There we go. Now once that's done, wipe it down with acetone. And you should be good to go if you want to add new polish or whatever you want to do at that point. So we got most of it off. Now we're down to the matte part. And at this point, you can just put the top coat on. Or re-top coat it, re-polish it, whatever you want to do. I suggest another layer of polish just because it gives it a smoother appearance. We'll go ahead and let this cure so I can show you what it looks like, and then I'll show you how to take it off with a drill. You can also use, after you've taken it off with the cuticle nippers, you can use your hand file to file that layer of gem glue or top coat or whatever off. It'll just take a little bit longer, but you can absolutely do that with a hand file. Alright, we'll let that cure. Alright, now you can also use your file for this. I am going to use a ceramic bit instead of the sanding band just for speed. It's a lot faster, so you just want to be careful, and again, point it away from your face, like turn it to the side or point it down just so you're not flicking them into your face, which I've done. I've got myself in the eye a few times. So just come at it from the side. Don't dig into the nail with it. Make sure you're just grabbing the edge of the gem and not the nail. I don't suggest you do this with glass beads, just because they will crack and send splinters, but if you have the plastic ones, it's fine. And now we're down to that foil backing. And you don't want to leave it in one place too long because it'll get hot, so make sure you keep it moving. That is loud. Like I said, if you do it this way, make sure that you're not pushing the drill too hard into the nail when you're trying to get the gems off. So just keep it moving lightly over the surface of the gems. And you don't need to take everything off if you're going to be using the same color. You just want to make sure that you get it down and smooth and even. So that you can add another color on top. I'm not very good at gems, that's why I just did straight lines. See how I didn't take all of it off, I just took it off underneath the gems, and that's all you really need to do. And that way, and then when you buff, it'll take care of those little dips and whatnot. Just make sure you buff it really good and get a nice, even surface. Alright, so this is the first one. You can see, you can't even tell there were gems on there. So it's pretty, it sounds harder than it is, but really buffing is the most important part of it. Just buff it and make sure after you get those gems off that it's nice and smooth and even, and it'll look good as new. So, if you guys have any questions, comment down below. I'm pretty hyped about my next line of videos. I have some more surprise giveaways coming up in the next couple weeks. I will be doing a different code word every time, so keep your ears peeled, and I will be locking the comments on those after I have a winner. So if you notice that the comments are locked, it's because I've already found a winner. So, but yeah, stay tuned. We're going to be doing some fun stuff here in the next couple weeks. I broke 200 subscribers. A couple of my videos are over 1,000 views, so things are really getting big, and the giveaways are going to be getting much bigger. So as always, thank you guys for watching, and thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate it.